What if the gun sitting at number 1 on every YouTube ranking isn't actually the gun most people are carrying? Every week the same names get pushed to the top. Not because real carriers chose them, because a manufacturer sent a free sample, and the channel that got it needs to keep that relationship alive. This list works differently. 10 concealed carry guns real people are actually buying, actually carrying, and actually trusting with their life in 2026. Not the sponsored version, not the version built to protect a review relationship. What real carriers are actually choosing when nobody is paying them to say it. Number 1 is going to surprise you and not for the reason you think. Let's get into it. Number 10. Ruger LCP Max. Real carriers who need deep concealment in summer clothing keep coming back to this one, and the reason is simple math. 10+1 capacity in 380, ACP width of 0.81 inches, weight unloaded of 10.6 ounces, optics ready slide on current production, when a full-size or even a compact gun simply will not disappear under what you're wearing. This is the answer people actually reach for instead of leaving the house unarmed. The terminal performance debate around 380 ACP is real, and serious carriers know it. But an honest gun in your pocket beats a better gun left in the safe because it is printed under your shorts. That trade-off is exactly why this stays on the list. Price approximately $399. Capacity 10+1. Best for pocket carry when nothing else will disappear the way this does. Number 9. Bersa BP9cc. Most channels skip this one completely, and real budget-conscious carriers are the ones losing out on that silence. 8+1 capacity, width of 1.1 inches, weight unloaded of 20.3 ounces. Bersa built this specifically as a slim, no-frills carry option, and it consistently outperforms its modest price tag in trigger feel and reliability. There is no optics cut, no fancy marketing, no influencer campaign behind it. Just a gun that does the job. Real carriers who buy the BP9cc are usually buying their first carry gun on a tight budget, and the ones who stick with concealed carry long-term often keep this exact gun in rotation for years rather than immediately upgrading. Price approximately $330. Capacity 8+1. Best for budget-conscious carriers who still want a slim, purpose-built carry gun. Number 8. Kimber R7 Mako. Kimber built a reputation in the 1911s for decades. Real carriers are discovering the company can build a modern striker fired, carry pistol too, and a genuinely excellent one. 11+1 flush capacity, 13+1 extended, width of 0.98 inches, weight unloaded of 19.4 ounces, factory trigger breaking at around 5 pounds with a wall cleaner, and more distinct than guns costing twice the price. True Glow Pro tritium night sight standard from the factory, which most competitors charge extra for. Owners who switch to the Mako from other micro compacts consistently mention the trigger wall first. It feels closer to a tuned 1911 than a typical striker gun, and that carries over from Kimber's decades of single-action expertise. Price approximately $599. Capacity 11+1 flush, 13+1 extended. Best for carriers who want factory night sights and a serious trigger without upgrading anything. Number 7. Springfield Hellcat OSP. The gun that made real carriers stop choosing between capacity and size, and one of the platforms that reshaped the entire micro-compact category. 11+1 flush, 13+1 extended. Width of exactly 1 inch. Weight unloaded of 18.3 ounces. Optics ready straight from the factory with no milling required. Hammer-forged barrel for accuracy that punches above the platform's size class. Early production Hellcats had documented reliability issues, and that history still shapes some buyers' research even though current production has resolved those concerns. Real carriers who bought recent production report the same thing consistently. It disappears under a t-shirt, and it still has the rounds when it matters. Price approximately $499. Capacity 11+1 flush, 13+1 extended. Best for carriers who refuse to sacrifice capacity for a thin profile. Number 6. Glock 43 XMOS. Simple geometry, done exactly right, and that simplicity is exactly why real carriers keep choosing it. Slide width of 1.1 inches. Weight unloaded of 16.4 ounces. 10+1 standard capacity. 15+1 with shield arms magazines that have become close to standard equipment for owners of this gun. The grip is long enough for a genuine, full firing grip. The slide is short enough to conceal cleanly without printing at the waistband. Getting that balance right is harder than it sounds, and the 43X gets it right. The factory trigger is only adequate, not exceptional, and the factory sights are basic plastic that most owners eventually upgrade. None of that matters much because the aftermarket depth behind this gun is unmatched anywhere on this list. Price approximately $529. Capacity 10+1 standard, 15+1 with shield arms. Best for carriers who want the deepest support network of any gun on this list. Number 5. Smith & Wesson Shield Plus. Over a decade of real people carrying the Shield platform, and it still holds up against gun after gun that was supposed to replace it. 10+1 flush, 13+1 extended. Width of 1.1 inches. Weight unloaded of 20 ounces. Performance duty trigger braking at around 4.9 pounds with the best reset Smith has ever shipped on this platform. Steel sights front and rear standard. Real carriers trust this gun specifically because it has already proven itself across years of daily carry in every climate, every carry position, and every level of maintenance imaginable. That track record is not something a newer competitor can manufacture overnight, no matter how good the spec sheet looks. Price approximately $499. Capacity 10+1 flush, 13+1 extended. Best for carriers who want a decade of proof behind their choice. Number 4. FN509 Compact MRD. Military-grade manufacturing brought down into the everyday carry category, and real carriers can feel the difference the moment they rack the slide. 12+1 flush, 15+1 extended. Width of 1.1 inches. Cold hammer forged barrel. FN's low-profile optics mounting system accepts a red dot directly with no adapter plates required. Ambidextrous controls throughout the platform. Holster selection is still catching up compared to the bigger American names, and that is the one real friction point new owners run into. But the fit and finish on this gun consistently surprises carriers coming from more mainstream brands. This is the gun people choose when they want to feel manufacturing quality in their hand, not just read about it on a spec sheet. Price approximately $799. Capacity 12+1 flush, 15+1 extended. Best for carriers who want manufacturing pedigree they can actually feel. Number 3. SIG SAUER P365 X Macro. Real carriers stopped accepting the old trade-off between capacity and concealment, and this is the gun that broke that assumption completely. 17+1 capacity. Width of exactly 1 inch. Weight unloaded of 26 ounces. X-ray 3-night sight standard from the factory. Optics ready with the Romeo Zero footprint. This is genuine full-size duty pistol capacity, packed into a frame that conceals like a compact. Pricing has crept up meaningfully since the original P365 launched, and the platform still carries some early reliability history that current production has mostly but not entirely outrun in buyer perception. Real owners who carry the X Macro daily consistently report the same thing. 17 rounds changes the calculation, and once you carry that much capacity in this small package, going back feels like a downgrade. Price approximately $899. Capacity 17+1. Best for carriers who refuse to give up rounds for concealment. Number 2. Walther PDPF Series Compact. The gun built for carriers the rest of the industry simply forgot to design around. 15+1 capacity. Weight unloaded of 22.8 ounces. Shorter trigger reach than the standard PDP. Lighter slide spring for genuinely easier racking. Reduced grip circumference that actually fits smaller hands rather than just being marketed toward them. This is not a color swap or a marketing label slapped on the standard model. Walther rebuilt the physical dimensions of the gun specifically to fit a demographic the rest of the Striker fired. Market ignored for decades. Pricing sits at a premium over the standard PDP compact, and some buyers question whether the F-Series distinction justifies the extra cost. For the carrier this gun is actually built for, that question answers itself the first time they pick it up, and the grip fits like nothing else they have tried. Price approximately $649. Capacity 15+1. Best for carriers who want a gun engineered specifically for their hand size. Number 1. Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS. Here is the surprise. It is not the newest gun on this list. It is not the one with the flashiest trigger or the most modern features. It is the gun that real carriers, after trying nearly everything else on this list at some point in their carry journey, keep coming back to and keep recommending to their friends. 15+1 capacity. Marksman barrel for genuine accuracy gains over older generations. MOS optic cut that accepts nearly every red dot on the market. Ambidextrous slide stop. The trigger is not the best one here. The ergonomics are not the most refined. None of that ends up mattering because reliability combined with total ecosystem support is what actually keeps someone carrying every single day without excuses. Every holster company on earth makes one. Every trainer can teach it without hesitation. Every armorer can fix it in 5 minutes with parts sitting on the shelf. 4 decades of real people carrying this exact platform through mud, heat, cold, neglect, and everything in between. And it has never developed a reputation for letting anyone down. That is not the exciting answer. It is the honest one. And honest is what this list was always built to be. Price approximately $620. Capacity 15+1. Best for any carrier who wants the single lowest risk decision in the entire concealed carry market. 10 guns. 10 reasons real carriers actually chose them, not what a sponsor paid to have said and not what the algorithm decided you should see. This is what people who actually carry a gun every single day are actually putting on their hip in 2026. No filler, no brand loyalty, just the honest list. Hit that like button if this gives you something real. Subscribe if you want more of it. Drop a comment telling us what you carry and whether you agree with number 1 or think we got it wrong. Stay safe, stay trained, carry the gun that has actually earned it.